பாடிடும் கவி உன்னை பாடவே ரட்சகே வித்தகே வருவாய் தேவி ரட்சகே வித்தகே வருவாய் தேவி அம்மா ஓம் சக்தி ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி அம்மா ஓம் சக்தி ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி கண்களும் உன்னை தேடுதே அம்மா நெஞ்சமும் உன்னை நாடியே அம்மா நெஞ்சமும் உன்னை நாடியே தேவரும் மூவரும் போற்றிடும் தேவியே ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி வேதரும் மாதரும் வணங்கிடும் தேவியே ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி தேவரும் மூவரும் போற்றிடும் தேவியே ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி வேந்தரும் மாதரும் வணங்கிடும் தேவியே ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி சித்தரும் யோகியும் வேண்டிடும் தேவியே ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி சித்தரும் யோகியும் வேண்டிடும் தேவியே ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி பித்தரும் பக்தரும் பணிந்திடும் தேவியே ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி அம்மா ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி கண்களும் உன்னை தேடுதே அம்மா நெஞ்சமும் உன்னை நாடியே அம்மா நெஞ்சமும் உன்னை நாடியே வேதனை தீர்க்கவே வந்தருள் சக்தியே ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி பற்றிய பிணிகளும் விலக்கிடும் சக்தியே ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி வேதனை தீர்க்கவே வந்தருள் சக்தியே ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி பற்றிய பிணிகளும் விலக்கிடும் சக்தியே ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி உன்னையே நம்பினேன் உறுதியாய் பற்றினேன் ஸ்ரீ ஹரி நாராயணி உன்னையே நம்பினேன் உறுதியாய் பற்றினேன் ஸ்ரீ ஹரி மலராய் வீற்றிருக்கும் நாராயணி தேவி கோபூசை செய்திடவே அருள்பவளே அம்பிகையே குலவிளக்காய் வாழுகின்ற மலராணி தேவியே சர்வமும் நீயே சகலமும் நீயே சக்தியும் நீயே சாந்தமும் நீயே நல்லதை செய்திட தர்மங்கள் வாழ்ந்திட வருவாய் வருவாய் தேவி அருள்வாய் அருள்வாய் தேவி
ஓம் சக்தி நாராயணி அருள் சக்தி நாராயணி ஓம் சக்தி நாராயணி அருள் சக்தி நாராயணி
அருள் கூர்ந்து காண்பவளே திருமலை கோடி அருள் சக்தி அன்றாடம் படி அழக்கும் தேவி அருள் கூர்ந்து காண்பவளே திருமலை கோடி அருள் சக்தி அன்றாடம் படி அழக்கும் தேவி அன்னபூரணி சங்கரி நாரணி ஆதிசக்தியே அம்பிகை ஈஸ்வரி சங்கரி சாம்பவி நீலி மனோஹரி தாயே அம்மா நாராயணி தேவி நாராயணி அம்மா நாராயணி தேவி நாராயணி
lost the hope in their life, if you ask them, are you worthful, what they will say? They will say, no, I'm not worthful. If you ask why, oh, I don't have anything. You know, I lost my relationship, I lost the money, I lost my job, you know, I lost the peace. But actually, truth is not this. You know, world, every human can't lose anything in their life. They may think that I lost, but every human in this world, they can't lose anything in this world. What they feel or think that they lose, it is very, very small with when they compare with what they have. If someone said, oh, I lose 100 million, but still it is little when you compare with what you have. If someone said, oh, you know, I lose my relationship, I lose my parents or someone, but still, you know, it is very little when you compare with what you have. Like that, as a big thing, what we have? Divine. So we have divine within us. So when you compare divine with anything, all the things are very small when you compare with the divine. So everyone in this life, you know, have the great treasure in their life, which is divine. We will never lose that. You know, the rest of the things, when we receive the blessings, when we don't know how to handle that, we may lose that. You know, but with the divine, we will never lose the divine, because divine will never lose us. You know, with the human mind, sometimes though we don't feel the divinity within us, but the seed is there. It is just sleeping. You know, we never pour the water on top of the seed. Once you start to pour the water on top of the seed, like that, it will take a big form as a big tree. So everyone in this life, you know, have the divine as a big treasure in their life. You know, that is everything, that is ultimate. You know, if someone is happy about having something big materialistic, for example, a big car, you know, that is also small with what we have inside. If someone worried about, oh, I lose this, even that worry is small, with what we have inside. So, this human life is blessed because we have divine within us. You just imagine, close your eyes and imagine and see. Like, for example, you just take this pedum, even it seems very big. Then, where is pedum located? In Vellore. And it seems very big. Then, where is Vellore? Vellore is in Tamil Nadu. So, it seems very big. Then, where is in Tamil Nadu? It is in India. And it seems very, very, very big. And where is India? It is in the world. So it seems very big. We never even imagine about the size of the world. It's very, very, very big for us. Where is the world? It is in the universe. And even we can't imagine how big the universe is. Where is that universe? It is within us. Huh? So the universe is within us. So physically we can't imagine how big this is. But the source and essence of the entire universe is within us. Then now you ask the question whether you are worth or not. If you can feel that you are worth only when you have 100 million or 200 million means, you just imagine you are having not just 200 million, you are having the whole universe within you. Then how much worth you are? And once we realized that, just the realizing the truth, even in the level of knowledge, need not to go to wisdom. Knowledge is information, wisdom is experience. So you just take this in a level of knowledge, that itself makes you to feel, I am the blessed soul in this world. So the purpose of this retreat is to bring this knowledge to everyone, that we all are part of divine. So then why we can't see us as a divine? The seed is in the soil and we are not taking any effort, to make that seed to grow. So from this retreat, we learn to pour water on that soil. Water on the seed, which is Abhishekam. So we learned that when we pour the water on the seed, on the soil, it doesn't matter for how many years it is under the soil. When you start to pour the water, then it starts to grow as a tree. So for someone, you may feel, oh, it is too late, but for Amma, you are blessed. At least you have now. There are some people in the world not even realizing that they have the seed within them. So it's not late, we are blessed, at least it is happening at this time, We forget about how much time is left, but we are blessed, So in that way, the purpose of this retreat is to connect with the divine through knowledge and wisdom, it helps for someone to understand, you know, there is nothing to lose in this life. It's a process. For example, you take a tree, you know, when we say the tree is growing, you know, when we said the tree is growing, when it is growing, when every old leaves, when it, you know, falls, then new leaf start to come. You know, if all the leaf just stays in the tree, there is no process of, you know, growth. So does ever trees crying, oh, all my leaves are going? No. No. They all are happy. You know, because they know, you know, they understand it's the process. So in the whatever we feel like, oh, I am losing this, understand it is the process. You are growing. You are growing. You know, when we all are like as a child, you know, we cried, you know, for ice cream and chocolate. Huh? You just imagine if we are in the same state still. Just imagine, you know, if you are crying to your son for the ice cream. If you are crying for the ice cream to your daughter, no, I want ice cream. You know, why we are not crying now? We used to cry for the chocolate and ice cream, you know, very badly, you know. Now we are not crying. And we are saying to someone, no ice cream. And no chocolate. What makes us to accept this? You know, the truth and the acceptance. You know, at that state, you know, we feel that is important. When we groan, there is something else for crying. So we forget about the chocolate. Now we are crying for something else. Similarly, when you find the divine, then this crying will disappear. So when we are young, we are worrying and crying for chocolate. When we grown, we are crying for the materialistic. And when we grown from there, you know, towards, you know, divine, then we stop crying for this materialistic. You know, did anyone thought for us, you know, at age of 8 or 9 or 12, don't cry for chocolate, don't cry for ice cream? No. Gradually it happens within us. You know, at age of 4 and 5, we cried. But age of 10, we have something else. Then we stopped crying for chocolate, and then we start to cry to have the nowadays, you know, iPhone tab. At age of 20, you know, we cried for a girlfriend and boyfriend. At age of 30, you are happy, oh, he gone. You know, so you say, oh, thank God he gone, or thank God she gone from my life. So from the every stage, if you realize, you are stop crying for something until you find something bigger than that. So now, this is the time to find which is very, very big in this universe, which is the divine. So once you find the divine is within you, you will not cry for anything in this world forever. Because this is the biggest thing in this life. This is the biggest thing in the universe. For what else we are going to cry? That is the biggest blessings of this retreat, which teaches everyone that we have the divine within us. And not only this is a form of knowledge, and not only in a form of knowledge, it also, will guide to feel and experience that in a form of wisdom. How is it possible? Through wisdom, through the practices, pujas. So when we said puja, what is mean by puja? What is the meaning of the word puja? Pu, you can split this word into two. Pu, say. Pu, say. Yes. Pu means flower. Say means offer the flower. What flower? Heart. Heart is the flower. Offered your art to the divine. So it is the meaning of the word Pusai. So doing with the flowers, offering the flowers to divine. So what will happen when we offer our heart to divine? The heart will become divine. When an apple, when it stays in the shop, what is the worth of the apple? $1, $2, whatever it is. If that apple reaches to divine, when it comes to Amma's hand, when the apple is here, can someone say, okay, I will give $2, get that apple? No, it's priceless now. Why? It is with the divine. It become divine. Before it has the worth, which is $2, anyone can go and get. When it reaches divine, not anyone can get that. Unless divine want to give, you will not have that. It's a priceless now. So similarly, when we are holding our heart within us, it has some worth. When you offer yourself to divine, then it is priceless like the apple. So the word Pusai means offer yourself to divine. It's the meaning of the word Pusai. So in that process, it cultivates love. It cultivates the trust. It cultivates the faith. It cultivates the positive. It cultivates the strength. It cultivates the courage. So in that process, all the positive things start to cultivate within us, start to grow within us. So then we realize the divine is not just outside, divine is within ourselves. Before it is in a form of seed. In every practice, in every pujas, with the love and devotion, the seed start to grow as a big tree. Then we realize divine is not outside, it is within us. So in this retreat, we get the two big gifts. One is understanding I am the part of universe in a form of knowledge. And then having the guidance how to connect with the divine through pujas in a form of wisdom. These are all the two important blessings for all Amma's children here. So it's a big blessings. So though it seems, it's a little late for some, but still it's not late. You are blessed. So the blessings, what you all have, this will make you to feel the presence of divine within yourself. That experience will make everyone to serve this whole world. So, if there is any questions regarding, the classes and things, can ask.
When we have a limited amount of time a day, and if, I guess the question is more around time to invest into doing seva, whether it's doing puja, we know that the puja is for the universe. It's not just for our household or our country. The time spent in seva versus the time to, make the amount of money to plant 500 trees, for example. Could Amma help us understand how to kind of think around that?
When you have the strong divine energy within you, it will help to fulfill your wish. So we call the Sankalpa, the word Sankalpa. What is mean by Sankalpa, Jagadambe? Intention. The divine runs this whole universe, just with intention. As a human, if we want to create something, you need so many things for that. For example, if you want to make a rice, then you need rice, you need water, you need fire, you need so many things. But if divine wants to do this, divine doesn't need anything. Just with the intention, when it is in divine's intention, the next second it will just materialize by itself. Why? Yes. Yes. Divine, since divine is everything, just intention itself will create that. For a human, rice you need to get from the shop. Fire you need to get from somewhere. Water you need to get from somewhere. You feel and believe it is not within you. You can't make rice like this. When we can, then we don't think about that. But since we can't, we are depending on something else. But for divine is in the form of rice. Divine is in the form of water. Divine is in the form of fire. So when the intention is there, all these three things just materialize by itself and take a form as a rice. So, in that way, when you understand and realize the divine is within you, when you make that divine energy stronger, at that time when you have the intention to raise the money for the sapling, you need not to go and work hard. When you have the intention, your friend will come and ask, I want to do something for you, what do you want to do? Otherwise, if you, without this sankalpa, without this strength, if you want to do something, by the moment your friend heard that you are coming, she will run away from you. It's the human world. So this is the power of intention. So when you have the strong intention, that intention can influence, everyone. So to make, our influence strong, we need the strong intention. To make the intention strong, we need to connect with the divine. To connect with the divine, you need the time to be in the conscious, which is puja. Okay? So both is important. We can't say, oh, I'm doing seva, that is also a good thing. So it's not mean, the pujas is not necessary. The puja is the source, that will create the strength. When you speak to someone, the words which comes from you makes him to understand and accept that. So the puja gives strength for us because it brings the positive energy within us. So that is the speciality of the pujas. Yes, Daniel? Mike. Babbuni Pili.
My question revolves around the same theme of seva and doing, say, puja with little Narayani. Is it, for want of a better word than saying better, if you just do the Abhishekam on Narayani, is that enough service and seva that you could ever do out in the physical world?
Seva, there is the difference between seva and devotion. When we said seva means doing something good or something needful for someone who is waiting or need for. Love, it just to expose our love to divine. So there is the difference between devotion and seva. Devotion, since we want to connect with the divine, we are exposing our love to divine in the name of devotion. There, divine really expecting your love. Whether you love or not, still divine will love you. But here, when I said, oh, I need to love the divine, it is for your benefit. In the name of the devotion, when you do puja, when you do that ritual, that time, how much you spend in the name of divine, that time you are in the conscious of divine. That conscious of the divine brings all the divine quality within us. So in this process, who is the one who is going to get benefit? Divine or us? Yes. So this is not seva. Seva means, who is looking for our help, to whom we can bring happiness. In devotion, it's not necessary for divine, to feel happy by our puja, because divine is already in the state of bliss. So, seva, when you said seva, it means that who are deserved for to receive the help, who is waiting here, So when we do something for them, it considers seva. But in the spiritual path, we need both devotion and seva. The purpose of devotion brings the good quality in us. That good quality makes us or feel us to do good things. It opens our heart. the spiritual path, practice, devotion, it opens our heart. It makes us to see everyone in this world as divine. And when we can able to see as divine, then only we will have love for every creation in this world. If you don't feel that, for example, let's say in the retreat, for example, Jagadambe is saying, so you try to do good seva, just feed 10 people every day. So Daniel will say, okay, I will follow that. And you start to feed every day 10 people. And someone, will come and ask, oh, I'm not having a good cloth. But you will say, no. Jagadambe said to feed. I will feed that. So this is knowledge, But when you have the devotion, when you connect with the divine, and when you realize the divine is within you, through the pujas, when you have this realization, since you have the divine, you can able to see the divine in every creation. At that stage, when you see someone is suffering, either it's a bird, animal, tree, human, or whoever it is, for whatever reason, you try to, that is seva. So the devotion is the source to do seva. So without devotion, seva will not come. Seva will be there. It's always for tax deduction. Someone want to do seva, but the first question asks, can you give the tax deduction? So without that it is not possible. So the devotion is the source to do seva. The seva is something which makes our life, as a pure. Because the reason for all our suffering is, what's the reason? Karma. The karma which we carry from our previous life. So to balance that, in this life we are doing more good karmas. It is like, as Amma always, told this as example. When you have a small line, if you want to make that line much smaller without touching that, what you need to do? You just draw a bigger line next to that. So the sufferings, the worries, the problems, what we have in this life, it is like a drawn line from our previous karma. As long this line is there, the sufferings will be there, the worries will be there. To balance this, we need to draw a big line next to that in this lifetime in the name of karma, doing good deed. So, through devotion, through the love, through the understanding of every creation is divine, when you start to do good karma in this lifetime, there is no bad karma in next lifetime. So, you are not doing bad, but you are doing good. So, the good karma, what you are doing in this lifetime, it helps you to balance the previous bad karma. And also, since you decide, I will not do bad karma, since you are doing only good karma, there won't be any bad karma in future for the next life. So the devotion is the base. It brings the knowledge and wisdom for us. Divine is every creation. So when you start to see the divine in everything, then you don't always try to remember what Jagadambe said, what is the good deed. you start to feel. You will feel right away, because as a human, someone can ask physically, you know, by opening their mouth, they can ask, "Oh, I am starving, help me, give the food." But can a plant or a tree or animal, can they ask? Does it mean we are not going to do seva who is not asking to us? No. When you understand, the divinity which is within you is in everywhere, you will feel that. The moment you see something, you will connect that. You know that it needs something. It makes you to do some good karma to there. So the devotion is the base for all the sevas. So the seva is the base to balance our previous karma. So the karma, good deeds, what we are doing, it is the base for our next life. Okay? Yes. Choliti, ready? And the cake மட்டும் எடுத்துட்டு வந்துருங்க எல்லாருக்கும். Yes, sir.
A year ago, Arabella said that she found it difficult to connect with the Narayani statue. And Amma said, it's okay, just connect with Amma. And now Arabella's getting a statue, and she still finds it much easier to connect with Amma.
Yes, because it is not two. That is Amma.
You have an Amma statue?
Okay, why? Okay, why we are having this statue? From where we got this? Yes. Okay, for Narayani we can say, okay, Amma created this form. Let's say, for example, Lakshmi or Saraswati. How come we know Saraswati is like with a veena or Lakshmi is with a lotus? How come always all these pictures, wherever we see, Lakshmi is with a lotus, Saraswati is with a veena and book? So, few yugas, thousands and thousands and thousands of years back, the sages, when they are in the state of oneness with the divine, they find the source of the cosmic energy, which is in the form of mantras. So when they start to chant that mantras, the vibration of that mantras, creates the divine energy there. When they keep on chant that mantra again and again, the density of the vibration turns in a form of light. So that light has taken a form as a nice images, the forms. Then once the sages, when they see that form, then they write it in the manuscripts, in the palm leaves, in the form of chantings. Like for example, we have all this mantras in two forms. One is Bija Mantra and another one is Stotra or Stuti. Bija Mantra means it won't have any meaning for the letter. It has just the letter which creates the vibrations. There is another thing which is Stuti. In that Stuti, they described about the form of divine as how they saw. Like Padmanane, Padmavuru, Padmakshi, Padmasambhave, Tanme bhajasi batmakshi yena saukyam labamyaham, which is called stuti. In this, they describe the form of divine. Padmanane, who sits in the lotus position. Padmakshi, whose eyes is like the lotus. Padmasambhave, who sits on the lotus. So from this, then later they made a statues. So whatever the statues we have, it is not just come out of the imagination. It is the real form of the divine, which the sages, they saw thousands of years before. And why we need the statues? And when you said you are going to love something, you just imagine the image which is in front of you, you should feel that image is loving you. Then only you can able to love. Can you imagine just having a image of a ghost or something and said, okay, I'm loving you, ghost, I'm loving you. Then ghost start to love you. But the result will be bad. So the images what we have, it is the form of love. When you see that image, just right away, you will connect with it. The beauty, the nature of the image, which is the mother's love, it makes you to connect there. So that's why they make all these divine forms beautifully, with all the jewelries, nice saris, and the hairstyle, and the crown, and everything. The first sight itself, for example, whoever, if when they go to Narayani temple, when they see Amma in that form, finish, no one will say it. You feel that mother's love there. So since you can able to feel the mother's love, then it is easy for you to love that. If it stays like this, you don't love, you don't feel that. So this is the reason. So like, for example, like when Arbala is asking, I am connected, before it is just I can able to connect with Amma. Now I can connect with Narayani also. As Amma said, it is not two, it is one. Maybe if you want, you can just die that and So this is the purpose of, the idol worship. The moment you see the statue or idol, you will feel that love. It shows you, it creates the connection as a mother's love. So that's why we have the statues in this ways. Okay. Yes, Esther? Akkade cheyi. Next is Siddhi Devi.
Om Namo Narayani Amma. Thank you. Yeah. Mantra. Yesterday, Jagatambe did a full day on mantra, specifically cleansing mantras, healing mantras, and happiness mantras. I just want to thank you for the exposures to those mantras. We also did healing techniques on what you taught us. It was fabulous. Such positive results came from the class on healing techniques. And I had never chanted with healings, doing healings before with mantras, and it was so powerful. So I just want to thank you for that teaching that I'll be taking through with my healings. Thank you. Om Namo Narayani.
You are deserved. Amma Siddhi Devi.
Om Namo Narayani. So Amma is God, and in one of Amma's books, there was a devotee asked does Amma has a guru? And Amma's response was that the world is Amma's guru. So could Amma reveal a deeper truth in that statement?
So, Guru, when you said Guru, what's the meaning of the Guru? Yes, the darkness to light is the meaning of the Guru. So, as a human, everyone need the Guru or Master in one stage. But for Amma, the world, when Amma mentioned world is the Guru, means the world is the divine. So, I am that. So, in mantras, like for example, there are many mantras in Vedas. So, most of these mantras are just received from the universe. The sages, they just received and then they just gave it to the world. But there are some mantras, which was just revealed by divine itself. For example, there is a mantra called Rutram, which is for Shiva. So that mantra was taught by Shiva about himself. Because if there is anyone else who exists in this world before than Shiva, then they can be able to tell Shiva is this, Shiva is that. Did there was possible for anyone to exist before Shiva? So Shiva have to tell who is Shiva. Like that. Bonda illa, vada. Venda, ready panna. Ready panna. Yes.
I too want to say thank you for helping me realise the divine within, Gayatri Devi. It's what you have put together on this retreat has been mind-blowing, so thank you. And I also want to ask, Ekadanta and Gayatri Devi are taking one Narayani home together.
Yes.
Can you advise the best way for us? Do we individually do our puja to connect with the divine individually, or should we do it together?
Can do Abhishekam together. If someone is going out, others can do. If someone feel that you want to do it again, no problem, you can do.
Okay, so either.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And particular.
Amma, Ching has a question about tithing. Recently, Ching read a spiritual book that was talking about the best, one of the best practices is to tithe 10% of our income or revenue if we have a business. This is on top of any charitable givings. Does Amma have any thoughts or wisdom to share about
This is on top of all the?
On top of charity givings or donations. Tithing means giving a fixed percentage of our income to our guru or spiritual teacher.
Okay, in this, because when you said service, always it has to from your heart, with love. So it's not really necessary 10%, 20%, 30% like that. Whatever the best you can. For example, here there is a thing which is called, when you offered your love to the Guru, which is in the form of these donations, there the masters, when you do for a family, it is for 3 or 4 people. When you do for the master, it is not for the 4 people. It is for the world. Because there will be something else. Yagam, puja, temple, feeding, this and that. So, Here we need not to say it fixed, like only 10%. It can be also 12% also can be. Okay? So which is good practice, which is something very, very good. So in that way, when we create that commitment, that commitment help us, to do the seva, which also helps ourselves and also others. Which is very good.
Om Namo Narayani Amma. Amma Kel has lived in many places, and in the last 30 years I have been using Sri Rudram when I move house to establish stable energy field and good vibrations in the new house. Should Kel still keep using Sri Rudram like that?
Yes. When we said the word Rudra, the word from Rudra, it means who removes all the negative energy. So it is good. As Amma said, there is no two divine. It's not Narayani is this, Shiva is that. No. It's same. For example, the two word, one is Shiva, another one is Vishnu. So most people think, so this is two God. It is just two energies. What is mean by Shiva? Shiva is the word which came from the word Siva. Siva means life force. Shiva means life force. So the life force of the universe is Shiva. And Vishnu, which means the force which exists everywhere. It is Vishnu. So then what is the difference between Vishnu and Shiva? It is same. Yes. You can. Go ahead.
So Amma Kel has been practicing Om Namo Narayani for a short time, and Om Namah Shivaya continually keeps coming. This is okay?
Whatever is comfortable for the soul, you just do that. It's not like, for example, so far for 30 years, when you are practicing Om Namah Shivaya, which is, I surrender to the Supreme Soul. Om Namo Narayani, I surrender to Divine. What's the difference? Nothing. It is the new information and technique. Before we use the lime juice in only one way, now we learn how to make the lime juice in few ways. Yes, Daniel.
Daniel really relates to Shiva.
Mm.
And he's wondering if Amma will create a Shiva statue here.
Amma is Shiva. Narayani is Shiva. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Sive. When you said the word Sive or Shiva, which means it's not a male form. Shiva means life force. Can you say the life force is a male or female? Your soul, Daniel is, a masculine. But the soul is a masculine or female? That is Shiva, that is Shakti. So.
Amma, we've learned a lot in these last 2 weeks, and I came, I think, 3 years ago, so I've only met Amma 3 years ago. A lot of devotees say, Amma spoke to me on the inner plane, and they told me this and they told me that, and I'm always amazed. Now, I've learnt so much and I want to implement it into my life, and it's going to change how I run my business and how I do things. So
Silva.
I will have a lot of questions for Amma.
Okay.
How do I know whether
how this works? For example, when you are not in spiritual path, so many things comes in the mind. The questions comes in the mind. For one question, 5 answers comes in the mind. And then you don't know which to choose. It creates a confusion. When you come to the spiritual path, because of our spiritual practices, like chanting, mantras, meditation, pujas, bhajans, which all helps us to be in the conscious of divine. The time, how much we spend to be in the conscious of divine, that much time our soul get the strength and energy. Before our mind is strong, the soul is just under the soil. Now, through this practice, the soul energy start to grow, then automatically the mind will become small. At this state, when you decide to do something, you will get the guidance not from the mind, from your soul, that too without confusion. That is the thing that Amma's devotees say, I got this from Amma. Is the meaning of that. Yes.
Bridget has got Narayani and I'm doing puja.
Good.
Every time I start to do puja, I live in an apartment, my neighbours upstairs start banging on the wall or drilling holes or banging doors, or they run downstairs and bang the garage door. It's like disturbance. It put me into fear for a little while, but I'm starting to overcome that now and let them keep on doing that.
So it is not possible that we ask everyone in the apartment to keep quiet. But whereas Bridget need to try to concentrate more in puja, then gradually you will not listen or hear any of the sounds. So, when we hear the physical sound through the ear, it disturbs us. When we connect here, then everything will shut down. So, the best thing for Bridget is, whenever you hear this little disturbance, don't worry about that. You try to focus on this. When you follow the sound, you can't do puja. This sound, then next sound, then next sound, next sound. By the time puja time finished. So, it's very easy. Don't focus on the sound. Just focus in your puja and mantra. Let it come whatever it comes. But gradually, Bridget will not hear any of the sound. You will have the focus just in this. It will not bother Bridget. Yes, Kali.
Om Namo Narayani Amma. Thank you for
Ready?
blessing us
Ingrid
with the retreat. Sri Kali really enjoyed learning about karma, but she's a little confused as to the point at which free will plays a part, because it seems like in many ways it's our good karma that we would have the opportunity to do even more good karma, and so it seems like the karma is just a wave rolling forward,
Yes.
which the more good karma we have, the more good karma we create.
Yes.
And so sometimes I wonder, well, at what point does free will have an opportunity to interject?
Actually, when we said the free will, whatever the thought that we have to do, it is related with the mind. Whatever we can able to do in action, that should be in karma. Then only it is possible. When something is happened, then we should understand that is our karma. When something is not happening, then that is our karma. But when we think to do something, just the thought is not a karma.
Uh-huh.
It's not a karma. It is just, the influence of the mind, the influence of the knowledge that what we read. It's our imagination. So we just focus on two things. Whether we can able to do, it is karma. Whether we can't able to do, that is karma. That's it.
Thank you, Amma.
Deborah.
Amma, Deborah feels in her heart that she would like to share the blessings of puja with others.
Yes. We can invite the people who like to come and participate in pujas. We can do that. For everyone, for the world. It's for everyone.
So it's not just for us.
No. It is just to, like for example, when Amma is doing puja, it is not for Amma. It is not for the body. It is just to create the energy, to the universe. So in that way, you all are going to create the divine energy, to the universe. By creating that energy more and more, it brings the changes in the world. So it's not just for an individual, but the result will be for individual. The benefit for the whole world. Yes, Jagadambe?
Originally, Amma's instruction to the people receiving the diksha was to practice the puja for until Amma's instruction was that they could share for others. And so the original instruction was to get established in the puja for some.
So that is for to have that connection. It will take just generally, like as Bridget said, when I heard the sound, it is disturbing.
Yes.
It is for that reason.
Yes.
So once you pass that, it's okay. It is as long you used to do the puja. Like for example, whenever we have the chantings with Amma's devotees, sometimes at a time of Navaratri, Amma will select some devotees to chant mantras in Yagam. So for first 2 days, to chant a certain mantra 1,000 times, it takes 3 hours. The 4th day, they can chant in 2.5 hours. In 6th day, they will chant in 2 hours. It's the same mantra, but by the day you just keep on, goes along with that, it becomes practice for you. So for that practice, Amma mentioned that. So once you are good enough, you are just, you understand and ready for everything, it's okay, Jagadambi.
Amma Ching has 2 questions. The first question is in relation to burning karma. You mentioned this morning on the bus that when people come knowing Amma, when we experience being sick, that of karma being burnt off. So Ching was wondering, what sort of things do we experience in life, for example, relationship breakups or business failures, things coming to know Amma would count as burning karma? Just
all the suffering we can take as a burning karma. All the sufferings, not just specific, all the sufferings, whatever comes, everything, because burning karma, what is mean by burning karma means, if certain thing can cause or hurt us or harm or feel difficult for us, we can take that as I'm burning the karma. It need not to be necessary this, or everything, so.
The follow-up question to that is, we probably will never understand the profound nature of how lucky we are to be in Amma's
Yes.
guidance. The question, I guess the I didn't even see the facial expression. Okay, but I guess the question is, could Amma, I guess, share maybe 1% of the, if somebody who doesn't have the grace of being Amma's devotee versus somebody who does, like, but they experience the same amount of suffering, like, how much luckier we are?
So for the person who is not in the spiritual path, when he go through some suffering, he will suffer because it caused some trouble, hurting for him. So he suffers. Because he is not understanding that is his karma, he also try to trouble others. But for Amma's devotees, when they go through some difficulties, they will understand it is their own karma. They are the cause for this. They will accept. They will not others to bother with this. If you are not in spiritual path, you try to find the reason for this. He is the reason. Because of him I am suffering. So I want to teach the lesson. And you do some more bad karma again. It creates the karma. When you understand, I am the cause. Whatever is happening in my life, good or bad, I am the cause. My karma brings this. When you have this understanding, you will not blame on others, so you will not have anger on others. So this is the difference. As a devotee, when you go through the karma, the spiritual strength, the blessings from your practice give strength and courage to handle this and accept this. But for others, they don't have this.
Amma Kel would like to ask Amma if we could also have, this retreat has been wonderful. Would it also be possible to have a retreat with yoga? Many people have shared with Kel how powerful the yoga section has been too. Could we also consider that?
Yes, we can do that because the yoga, it helps to keep all the chakras and the energy points in perfect and the mind. So the yoga is the base, to receive the spiritual knowledge and wisdom. Many people, they think yoga is just for the body. Again, the body is very, very important, for the soul. In our life, we all experience different types of feelings and emotions in different stages. It might be mixed happiness, then worries, fear, sad, excitement, anxious, surprise, etc. etc. In spite of all these experiences which we experience in our life, in spite of all this, why we are coming into spiritual path? To look what? For what? Peace. Why? Still we are experiencing the happiness in our life. Still many things, good things is happening in our life. Then why still we are looking for peace? The answer is, though happiness seems pleasure, but that experience brings another experience to us, which is the happiness what we find from this world. It is not permanent. For some people, they experience little more from that. The happiness have the two phases. One, it brings pleasure, and another phase is it brings fear. When we are happy by having something, we also have the fear to lose it. So like this, though the happiness and certain feeling seems pleasure, even those things bring different types of experience in our life, and that brings wisdom in our life, or knowledge in our life. So that's why we are not looking for peace just to get rid of worries, just to get rid of problems. We are also looking peace not to stuck with this materialistic happiness. That is So, especially in our life, when we receive something, we feel very happy. We are happy because we receive that, which means we are not ready there to share that. If someone wants that, then we get upset on that. We get fear from that. So, the happiness, when it comes along with that happiness, it brings so many, etc., etc., etc. So many of them may have this experience also. That's why we are not asking just happiness. We want something more than that, beyond that. That's why even who have very little problem in their life, they also look for peace. So then what is the peace? Happiness is the pleasure. What's the experience of the peace? How we feel when we experience the peace? Hunted. When we experience the peace, when we experience the happiness, we can't say we are content. When we experience the happiness, that happiness makes us to have more desire. Or it makes us to hold that. But peace is not like that. Once you experience the peace, the moment you feel that you are having everything in your life. Though we don't have materialistic, still you will have the feeling of fullness that I am having everything. Once we experience that, then we are the richest man in the world. Not when we have money. Money doesn't make one to feel content. If you have 1 million, you want to make it 2 million. If you have 2 million, you want to make it to 10 million. You ask the people who are having 10 million, are you happy? They will say, yes, but you can understand what's the meaning of but. So, the peace is not like that. To have happiness in our life, we must have something, we must get something. Then only it makes us happiness. It brings happiness. But for peace, you doesn't need anything. All you need is divine grace and divine blessings. Especially in this situation, with the corona, many might miss of experiencing that happiness, because from little pleasures, like going to restaurant, meeting the friends, going to parties, we might miss little happiness. But in spite of all that, still this is the time that we have lots of opportunity to connect with the divine and to find the peace. maybe in one way, the word is blessed because divine creates the opportunity for the world to think about divine. The rest of the time, what we say, are you coming to puja? Are you going to temple? Oh, no time. No time, no time. So now divine gave lots of time for us to connect with the divine. If we see the situation, oh, it's bad, then it is bad. And if we see this as a good, many good things also happening at this moment. For example, for hundreds of years, the humans pollute this world, pollute the air, pollute the water and everything. Is it ever possible without corona, the whole world sit and talk, okay, we shut down everything for 1 month? Does it ever happen? No. It will not happen. If some country accepts that, because of that some country will not accept. Oh, he said, so I don't want that. We are not part of this. But now, since because of this lockdown, the industry is not running, the vehicles are not on the road, so lots and lots of pollution. What happened? It's clear, it's disappeared. Which is a very big good part from this. Apart from that, there's still, some people, they just lose their life. Though it is something very hard, but still we can pray for their soul to be in peace. Why we need to accept this? As Amma said before, it is not something which is happening out of divine control. It's a divine plan, but sometimes it is hard to understand the plan. It is hard to understand. So the best thing is just instead of trying to understand that, we need to accept that and try to find the ways, the possible ways, how to be safe. In addition to that, as Amma said before, we have lots of time. So we should utilize this time to connect with the divine. By chanting, by meditation. For many people in the world, it will be very hard, just to sit in the house, for 40 days, doing nothing. But we have to accept this. So what is the best way to get rid of this stress? Of course, we might have many stress. For Amma's children who are here, you are lucky.
Yes.
You are blessed. You have lots of opportunities. You are sitting here and enjoying the nice breeze, going to Sripuram, walking in the Starbucks, 8 o'clock hot coffee. But for many people it seems very hard. So what is the best way to get rid of the stress? Now, for how many hours you can watch television? How many hours you can be in the phone? It all creates stress. Before we never thought phone will create the stress. Now many people realize phone creates the stress. which is the big miracle of the corona. It makes the world to realize that. Before world never realized, that one day I will get bored from my phone. No one thought that. But now everyone feels so bored. Keep the phone. Switch off the television. So in this situation, what is the best way to get rid of the stress for everyone in the world? The best thing is chanting the divine mantras out loud for 15 minutes will take away the stress. What is meant by stress? Yes. The pressure, the problem which we can't handle. It is the stress. So by chanting the divine mantras, 15 minutes or 20 minutes out loud, it creates the vibrations. What is another name of the vibration? Energy. What energy is that? Divine energy. So that divine energy which we create through chanting will fill our heart and the soul. So the stress, whatever from the whole 24 hours, will disappear. So if it is a normal time, we can go for a walk. You can go to the gym and do so many things. But now, you can't do anything. So, for some, they just need to be in 600 square feet or 700 square feet. Yes, it may create the stress, but to get rid of the stresses, the best thing is chanting the mantra out loud. Why out loud? Generally they say chant internally. Why out loud? Loudly, to energize the space. Yes, to energize the space and also energize ourselves. Because normally, before in the family, one will be moody. At this time, everyone is moody. Not just one. Father is moody, mother is moody, brother is moody, sister is moody. Why? Yes, we are all just in the place. So the energy of the entire place, it is little different and difficult energy. So to clear the energy, when we chant the mantras out loud, as we all knows, when you chant mantra one time, it creates the vibrations. So when everyone chant the mantras, it creates the positive energy and vibration in the house. So the energy which we create through chanting will take away all the stress. And the energy from the chanting will bring the energy to balance the stress. Yes, the situation is, it's very difficult situation, but we need to make it positive way. We need to handle it in a positive way. We can't just, shut down ourselves. It makes us more negative. Yes, we can't change, by having a wish, no, I want to change this. No. It is the global issue. So we need to handle the situation. We need to accept the situation. Along with, as Amma said, the chanting and creating the positive energies and vibrations within us. And we need to see this, as Amma said before, okay, it is some process, of divine, which we can't understand. But still, we can pray for the whole world and for every being in this world, through our prayers. Which is the best thing we can do at this situation. We can't do anything, So this is the best thing we can do. So we can pray and chant for ourselves, and also we can pray for others. So when we practice this, this will help us not just to handle the situation, also to clear the current crisis. Because every soul is part of divine. When divine decide to change the things, how long it takes? Second. So, where is divine? Divine is within us, in everyone, in the form of soul. So, if every soul had this intention, this crisis should go away soon. If every soul had this intention, this will disappear. So the best way to handle our stress, also to utilize this time in a good way, is chanting and praying to Divine. Will help us and the world. So, God bless you and the whole world to have a peaceful, happy,